Detroit, live from Detroit.
All right, so look, man, it was a little clip, and Vince Staples was talking about rap music ain't really art, and he had some opinions as to why. I'm gonna play it, and I want to get some feedback. I want to talk about it actually.
All right.
When you talk about music and you talk about art, when niggas try to put music and art in the same box, I just can't really fuck with it.
But music is art.
But we can say that.
It's an art form.
We can say it's an art form, but everybody gonna trade it in for commerce. Art.
That definitely right on that.
Art becomes commerce in the latter stages of it. People that make art create art. They give it to the art dealer. They give it to the art dealer, gives it to the art buyer, and in 10 years it's gonna be worth $15 million. Hold on.
I get what you're saying.
But what I'm gonna say is, at the end of the day, can we really sit here and say it's art when everybody cool with they label, selling the shit to iTunes for $1.99? It's art, but we can't pick our own price. It's art, but we create based on whatever niggas say. It's art, but we still making music videos, mixtapes, and albums. So at the end of the day, we can really talk about all this shit, but at the end of the day, everybody just gonna let niggas sit here and sign it down the line, get their check, and say, get your money, my nigga.
That's a fact.
So it's nigga, like you said, it become a hobby, it become a job, and it become what? So what I'm saying, we expect to have Basquiat's, we expect to have Andy Warhols, we expect to have Damien Hirst, all these other motherfuckers within our rappers, our producers, our directors, our people like that. We expect to have Cindy Sherman's with the way that, like, why is Missy Elliott not Cindy Sherman? When she put on a spacesuit, why Missy Elliott not in the mocha? When Cindy Sherman got whole exhibits at the Bro Museum based on her dressing up like shit. And Missy Elliott done that in 15 different videos. It's because at the end of the day, that shit worth millions and our shit worth $1.99 because niggas is focused on the wrong things. What I'm saying is, it's a million niggas that's photographers, but you can't tell a motherfucker that the nigga who take the picture that sit in the frame at Target is the same as the motherfucker that take the cover of the New York Times. We not gonna say that. But they don't even pay attention to them niggas. The problem is we paying too much attention to the motherfuckers who not really doing it.
So that was the basis of the conversation.
But do you think every artist moves like that? Every rapper moves like that? Because I don't.
The majority of rappers 100% move that way.
I look at a nigga like Kendrick, who just gave us, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. No singles.
You look at the exception, because Kendrick is not the rule. He the exception. I think what Kendrick does is 100% art, but he not the rule. He's literally the exception. Kendrick is an exception. Jay-Z is an exception. For some later version, older version, Jay-Z is an exception.
Do we call Cole an exception, or is he?
I think Cole is an exception.
I'm trying to think. I think Drake kind of fought like.
Nigga, that
but
shit
I guess
cookie cutter, like.
I guess that's his formula.
And like, he gave the other example. If rap music is an art, why we judge it upon how many you sold? They only make one painting. A million niggas don't got the Mona Lisa. It's one of them bitches.
Like, I like Vince Staples as an artist.
Yeah.
I don't think he follows that traditional formula. Mm-mm. But then,
to a extent, he do still.
But then also, like, you can argue how successful Vince Staples is as compared to his peers. I like what he does.
How do you determine success? Is it money? Is it like, if I spent $20,000 making this album and I made $2.3 million from it, is it that success? Cause like, what if I go platinum, but I spent my whole budget making an album? Like, how do you measure success?
For me, as I get older, success looks a little bit different. I used to think it was just like a bunch of money, a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a big ass house, a bunch of cars. Nigga, success to me now is freedom. Like, success to me would be I don't have to get up and punch the clock for somebody else.
Now, how does that relate to art? Because
if we could do this podcast, Shop Talk Podcast, every week, or maybe we even increase it. Maybe we do the podcast 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And we're podding to the point where it's taking care of all of our bills. We are not struggling.
But what that got to do with the art is what I'm saying. That's because I sold my art, right? And I got commerce from it. But the actual art of it, When we drop an episode or whatever, is people go back, like somebody just here's an example. We just got tagged in something on Twitter, right? And it say, this episode was so powerful. Listening to y'all's stories about losing loved ones was therapeutic for me. We need more black men expressing how they manage grief. Salute to J.JOhnson, Shop Talk Podcast. Boom, boom, boom. Right? That means we recorded something. We put our thoughts and our feelings down on wax, and that's in the ethos forever. And somebody gonna go back, and fucking up the video.
My bad, man. It's hot than a bitch.
But that's gonna live in the ethos forever, and it's something tangible. I can go back there and listen to it, examine it, and like on some art shit. Now that shit could have been weak as hell, but we said something funny and we sold it for a lot of money. That's not what make it art. In my opinion, because art is different to everybody.
Right.
But the emotion, the stories, like that is I think everybody hide behind this art word and just, oh, everything's art. You can't tell me some of this shit ain't art. Cause you're gonna tell me Vincent Van Gogh is the same as the shit you can buy in Target. You know what I'm saying? Them paintings at Target, somebody painted that shit for sure, and they making money off of it.
And it's art.
Yeah, you know? You
put live, laugh, love up on your wall, that shit.
Now, what is art when I could tell fucking Dolly, the chat GPT company, I can say, give me a picture of a dog standing on the moon with a red hat doing a backwards flip, and it gives me 7 different versions of that. Literally, it gives me 7 different versions. Everything I just said, oh, that's art. You ain't even make it. A computer made it.
I was listening to an interview where Wiz was talking about like he lets the computer like make like dial up some of his ideas and his music.
Lupe is partnered with the company who does that. Like he has an app and it will start, you put in different words and I'll give you 27 different words that rhyme with this.
I'm going to write a full song with a kind of predetermined narrative and kind of goal using text effects as the driver. So it's almost like we're going to be in dialogue. All right, so got the beat, got my little analog writing pad, I got text effects, and I think that we're ready to go. A soda, a glass of water held up to the lips of a marauder. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I know I'm gonna do it like that. So a glass of water held up to the lips of a marauder. So I'm gonna dig into text effects, and I'm gonna use that lips of a marauder as the scene, as the input. So we got scene going, dry and flaking. They look like they haven't had water in days. Yeah. So I think that's the one. Glass of water held up to the lips of a marauder, looking like they haven't had a drink in days.
You say, what's another way to say successful? And I bring out a million of them. He got a video online with him and the AI thing coming together and creating a song. And like, all right, what theory or what such and such does this explore? Oh, shit, you talking about water, so let's talk about, like, it's very detailed.
I think for it to be art, it's got to touch people. It's got to move people. But I don't know how you necessarily can quantify that because art looks different for everybody. How things touch you or move you.
Man, I think cap. Everybody call everything art when we know it's not. Anything I ever done in my entire life, oh, that's just my art. You can't critique my art. Yes, the fuck I can. Because once you put your art out there, now let's talk about it.
Art gets critiqued all the time. That's part of the process.